Sabryna and the River Spirit. The day began as usual. The little one scampered about while Pa complained of aches in his back and the tingles in his toes. Sabryna heated bread and porridge over the fire in their old iron pot. The family didn't have the money for new alchemical stuff like other families in the village. But Sabryna didn't mind. She liked the smell of a real fire better. It smelled honest. Before the family ate breakfast, they stood before the shrine. Three clay figures, nestled in the nook above the fireplace. Their paint was flaky and their limbs cracked. But since Pa had injured his back and lost his arm on Strongarm's farm, there was no money for repairs. Sabryna nudged the little ones to remind them to bow their heads as Pa cleared his throat. Thank you, Barl, for the grain and the beans. Thank you, Sana, for light to bless the leaves. Thank you, Dia, for water to bless the roots. Sabryna broke off breadcrumbs to give to each of the figurines. Stout Barl, tall Sana, and dainty Dia with her long flowing hair. We are only poor family, a lowly family, Pa went on. We try our best, but we are cold and hungry, and our bellies always rumble. Please bless our spirits. Send us barrel of grains, baskets of fruits, and lots of fish. Recently, Pa's pleas had become more and more desperate, and Sabryna had become more and more certain that the spirits weren't listening. After breakfast, Sabryna tied on her apron and filled her pocket with salt for a day's luck. Time for school, she said, leading the little ones outside. Have a good day, said Pa, and don't run off with a passing merchant. I won't, Sabryna promised. Sabryna had never traveled further than the next village, but she knew that the merchants came from towns and cities far away. They brought tales of temples and dooms, mighty machines and magic shows. Sabryna would love to see all that they described. But she knew that was impossible. Her family depended on her. The village school only cost a penny each for the morning and taught sums and letters. Alongside this, the children were taught about alchemy. Lessons involved mixing simple formulas and drawing diagrams of alchemical contraptions. It was only the basics, but it was a start. Sabryna hoped that her brothers and sisters would achieve great things one day. It was a long walk from their cottage, high on the hillside, to the schoolhouse in the valley below. As usual, they were the last to arrive at Sabryna, who was already 14, hurried her siblings through the gate as the bell rang. Work hard and don't upset the teacher, she called, before heading into the village to collect the day's laundry work. The village bustled. Farm hands jostled and gossiped as they headed to the fields. Apparently, the river was low, but the farm hands said that there was no need to worry because Mr. Strongarm had bought a new alchemical fertilizer and it made the grain pop up like a rabbit from a hole. The farm hands might not have been worried about the low river, but Sabryna was. She could hardly make a living as a laundress without water. In the village square, the blacksmith's iron hissed as he plunged hot metal into a liquid that turned the outside bright gold. A cart bounced down the street, delivering wool to the dyers. In the alley stood great wads of dye in every color the alchemists could dream up. More and more people were moving to the village. She came to work on the farms, which grew bigger each year, while others came to profit from passing merchant trade as ever more alchemical wares were transported up and down the land by boat. Sabryna bowed her head to disguise her gaze as the merchant's daughter bustled past in their jeweled bright gowns, showing off the latest fashions. Sabryna wished that she could afford a colorful gown too. But all she had to wear was a beige smock. Every new alchemist invention seemed like magic. Sabryna just wished she had a little more magic in her own life. She knocked on the door of the low, thatched building that belonged to the Strong Arms. Mr. and Mrs. Strongarm ran the biggest farm in the village. Sabrina, there you are, said Mrs. Strongarm, standing in the doorway. Her necklace hung with expensive wards against hardship and hunger. How is your pa? Is his leg still troubling him? It's his back, really, said Sabryna, holding out her arms for Mrs. Strongarm's basket of laundry. It troubles him worse each winter. Even from the doorway, Sabryna could see that the Strong Arm's shrine was 5 times as elaborate as the one that Sabryna's family had at home. There had to be at least 20 statues of every color and shape, some human, some animal, some dressed in jewels of fur or flames. Oh, the poor man! He always worked so hard and he's had such bad luck. Still, good thing he's got you to help look after the family. Here you go. Mrs. Strongarm deposited a large pile of dyed cloth into Sabryna's basket. As Sabryna thanked her and turned to leave, Mrs. Strongarm caught her elbow. One moment, Sabryna. Don't use that old soap. You'll spoil the colors. Here, she held out a bar of alchemical soap, indigo colored with swirls of glittering green and black. Thank you, gasped Sabryna as Mrs. Strongarm plonked the soap on top of the laundry. Sabryna couldn't stop staring. It looked more like a precious stone than something you used to wash clothes. I've never used alchemical soap before. I can't wait to try it. And if your pa ever needs anything, said Mrs. Strongarm, waving Sabryna goodbye. Extract from Sabryna and the River Spirit. Thank you.